I'll never forget the sound. 6 in the morning, coffee barely cool enough to drink, and I'm standing at my kitchen window watching a bulldozer driven by the queen of the HOA, Priscilla Vanderberg, smash straight through my great-grandfather's stone bridge. 90 years old, every block carved by hand, and she just plows right through it. No warning, no court order. Just her, a bulldozer, and my family's history getting shattered and sinking into Pine Lake like it never meant anything. You ever watch a piece of your past just get erased? Not in some metaphorical sense, but right there as a pile of limestone and diesel smoke, I dropped my mug. I ran out there still in my pajamas, shouting, probably sounding half crazy. She didn't even roll down her window all the way, just enough to hit me with a smile and that line, "Next time, think twice before defying the HOA, Mr. Blackwood." I'm standing there barefoot on the cold driveway, and she's acting like she just took out the trash instead of 3 generations of memories. And for what waterfront land? She wanted my 15 acres, that's it. Wanted it bad enough to bulldoze her way through every bit of decency and law. But see, bullies always underestimate who they're picking a fight with. 48 hours after she took a wrecking ball to my family's legacy, her $4.2 million resort was dead in the water, and so was she. Would you have fought back or just taken the money and run? Think about it. I'm Thad Blackwood, and I've been fighting bullies my whole life, some in the Army, some in suits. Lost my wife Sarah 2 years ago. That taught me what's actually worth fighting for, but I've never met a storm quite like Priscilla. Imagine this Pine Lake at sunrise, mist curling off the water loons, calling everything quiet except the smell of pine sap and old stones warming up in the light. My great-granddad Ezekiel built that bridge in 1934. Picked the spot because it reminded him of home, the Scottish Highlands. Bought the land for less than what people pay for a used car these days. And that bridge he cut every block himself. When I was 12, my dad and I spent a summer repairing it. I nearly threw my back out just moving one of those stones. We used to joke that bridge would outlast all of us. Turns out we weren't counting on Priscilla. So here's me, just a widower raising a 16-year-old daughter, Melody. I work carpentry, scrape by on the VA disability, but the land is ours. Free and clear. And I guess that's a problem for people who think everything is for sale. Priscilla rolled into town 18 months ago, bought the Henderson mansion, paid cash. Got herself elected HOA president in about a week. If you've never seen her picture someone straight out of the Stepford catalog, white blazer, white Tesla smile, sharp enough to open cans. She oozes, "I get what I want." Her plan, Pine Lake Resort and Spa, fake, rustic, real expensive. Millionaire's playground as long as they didn't have to actually rough it. Her grand opening Tuesday, 3 days after she destroyed my bridge. She had 200 VIP guests, lined up news cameras, over $1 million in deposits from people who think camping means no room service. But here's the kicker, her fancy resort only worked if she could control the whole shoreline, which, lucky for her, was mostly mine. She started nice. Offered me $400,000 for my land. I laughed. She went cold. Suddenly, my perfectly maintained property became public enemy number 1. Fines for long grass, unsafe docks, mailbox violations. She'd show up with a tape measure like she was auditioning for CSI. She even called the county to complain about my septic tank spoiler. Mine was newer than hers. Then she started in on Melody. Other board members' kids asking my daughter why her dad was such a troublemaker. That kind of thing. It's a special kind of evil, isn't it? $15,000 in fines racked up in 6 months. I refused to pay. If you give an inch to a bully, they'll take the whole damn yard. The Friday before the bulldozer, she dropped the hammer. My bridge was now an unpermitted structure blocking emergency boat access. 30 days to remove it or face enforcement action. I called a lawyer. Priscilla must have heard because Saturday night she pulled out the nuclear option. Sunday, while I'm watching Melody score the winning goal at her soccer game, she's out here with a demolition crew, cash in hand, flattening 90 years of my family's history. The phone rings. It's Mrs. Juliet, my neighbor. "Thad, you need to get home now. They're destroying your bridge." There's nothing quite like hearing your past die over a cell phone. I floored it home. 20 minutes felt like 20 hours. Priscilla was standing there, iced coffee in one hand, phone in the other, filming the whole thing. The crew looked embarrassed, like they'd just realized they were the bad guys. The air was thick with diesel and dust and something uglier. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" I yelled. She didn't even look up. "Emergency removal. You should have taken my offer." Then she handed me a permit, emergency demolition. Structurally unsafe, supposedly. Funny, since it had just passed inspection last spring. I called the sheriff. He looked at the paperwork and said the line every victim of HOA overreach knows by heart. Looks legal to me. It's a civil matter. By noon, the bridge was rubble, 90 years gone. But that's when the universe sent me a guardian angel in orthopedic shoes. Mrs. Juliet. She was a retired county clerk, spent 35 years drowning in government paperwork. She came over with a folder thick enough to stop a bullet. That woman made a very expensive mistake, she said, and laid out the evidence. Priscilla's permit claimed my bridge was a commercial dock, totally false. My bridge was private, had a perfect inspection record. Then we found the real smoking gun. Priscilla had erased my bridge from her environmental permits, lied on federal documents, and backdated surveys. Son, my dad used to say when someone lies about the small stuff, they're hiding something bigger. Never thought I'd see it play out on my own kitchen table. Turns out the resort was supposed to be inspected Monday, and Priscilla had spent Sunday night trying to bribe the inspector into letting it pass early. When that didn't work, she tried bribing his wife. The inspector recorded the whole thing. Local news caught wind. Suddenly, Priscilla wasn't just fighting me, she was fighting Channel 7, the county, the feds. Melody and I spent Sunday night going through every permit, every survey. The dates didn't match, the stories didn't match. Priscilla had overbuilt her resort, expanded the guest rooms, exceeded septic capacity, then tried to fudge the paperwork. She'd built a house of cards and started a wildfire underneath it. Monday morning, I filed every complaint I could. The county environmental guy actually whistled when he saw the documents. "This is going to be good," he said. By 8:15 a.m., the stop work order was live. No more construction. No inspection. Every extra nail she hammered after that was another $50,000 fine. Priscilla lost it, tried to argue, tried to intimidate. Didn't work. By noon, her resort was surrounded in yellow environmental violation tape. I sat on my dock, coffee in hand, watching her empire get shut down, and felt something I hadn't felt in days, hope. Then Melody, who by the way should probably be running the FBI, found Priscilla's financial filings online. $8 million in debt bridge loans, and a requirement to open by Wednesday, or else default on everything including her own house. Oh, and the $1.2 million in guest deposits she'd already spent. She was about to owe it all back with nothing to show for it but a shut-down resort and a pile of federal crimes. By Tuesday, the hits kept coming. County investigators, state officials, environmental crime units. Every violation added up. Then Priscilla tried to bribe a federal agent on camera. State police hauled her off. The media swarmed. GoFundMe for my bridge shot past $400,000. People from all over the country pitched in. And my little army, Mrs. Juliet, Dr. Washington from the college, my lawyer Rebecca, kept digging. Turns out Priscilla had embezzled HOA funds too. By sunset, her own HOA board had dissolved itself to avoid prosecution. Friday morning, the courthouse was packed. News crews, neighbors, veterans, environmentalists. I walked in with Melody at my side, surrounded by people who'd had enough of bullies. Priscilla showed up in an orange jumpsuit, hands cuffed, hair a mess. Every ounce of arrogance was gone. The prosecutor read out the charges: environmental fraud, insurance fraud, destruction of historic property, bribery, racketeering, embezzlement. It took longer to list them than it did for the judge to deny bail. And then they played the recordings. Priscilla's own voice sneering about how she didn't care about some stupid veterans bridge, how she'd bulldoze anything in her way. Judge Morrison leaned in and said, "You've just confessed to everything, Ms. Vanderburg." The gallery erupted. Justice finally actually served. 6 months later, Pine Lake was back. Federal funds cleaned the water, rebuilt the bridge as a historic landmark, and Priscilla's resort demolished. In its place, the Pine Lake Community Center, built by volunteers, powered by solar, and run by the people she tried to trample. Melody got into environmental law school. Mrs. Juliet became a local hero. Dr. Washington helped pass HOA reform laws. Even Rebecca got promoted. And me, I stood on the new bridge watching Melody teach a group of teenagers how to set stone. I realized something. Priscilla didn't just destroy a bridge. She brought a whole community together. She showed us what we're willing to fight for. So here's what I learned, and I hope you do too. You can't buy real power. You can't bulldoze history and walk away clean. And if you stand together, even the biggest bully can't win. Now let me ask you, would you have folded for $400,000 or fought back for what mattered? Have you ever dealt with someone like Priscilla? Someone who thought they owned the whole world until karma came calling? Drop your story. I want to hear it. Because bullies only win when we let them. And the best feeling in the world is watching them lose everything they thought they could never lose.